Hi everyone, welcome and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Jacqueline and I have two diagnosed learning disabilities, which are dyslexia and dyscalculia. And today's video I'm super excited about because it is 10 questions you can ask yourself if you think you might have a learning disability, just as a guide to see if you might want to have a further evaluation or not. And parents, please listen up because this might also help you figure out if your own child might have a learning disability as well. So it's a great range and we are going to get into it shortly, but I do just want to say one thing, which is please do not self-diagnose yourself with this one video. There's so much information about learning disabilities that I can't fit into this one little video, and Google will be your best friend because there's a lot of websites talking about little kids to teenagers to adulthood, and to figure out the signs and symptoms of learning disabilities within that range of ages. I just do want to say that my laptop is over here off to the side of this frame, so if you see my eyes wander this way, it's because I'm looking at my laptop for a split second. But without further ado, let's get into this video with question number 1, which is, do you feel like you are a forgetful person? Now this has to do with a fancy term called working memory, which is literally just your brain that has a limited capacity for temporary information. Now, something to watch out for that ties into working memory is you might learn something one day, and then you have to come in the next day or the next time you revisit the specific thing that you learned, and you completely forget it, or it's pretty foggy, and you just don't really remember the steps to do the specific task. And that is working memory issues. So that is number 1 on the list. The second question we are going to dive into is, has your difficulty been lifelong? Now this is pretty important just because learning disabilities are a lifelong condition or disability. It does not last just a month. It lasts your entire life, but fear not, there are so many resources and strategies that you can help yourself improve with your specific disability. So it seems pretty scary sometimes, but definitely don't let it be. Question number 3 we are going to talk about is, do you feel left out or left behind? Now this could be inside of school or work or outside in your daily life. People who have learning disabilities often feel pretty isolated because they think that they're the only one in the room who has absolutely no idea what is going on. I felt this all the time in my younger grades just because I didn't really have the proper tools to self-advocate for myself, and I'm really glad that I have slowly over time learned how to do that. But it's really hard, so I don't blame you if you find that challenging yourself. To parents, please note that if you notice that your child is falling more and more behind in academics as they progress through the years, that is a major red flag to look out for, and really keep that in your mind, because that is something that contributes to a learning disability, is them not keeping up with their peers. On to question number 4, which is, do you feel like you do not have the proper tools to express your feelings or thoughts? Now this kind of deals with what I was just talking about, self-advocacy. A lot of people who have learning disabilities don't know how to self-advocate, or they have no idea what to pinpoint as the problem area. They just know something is wrong, and they can't quite figure out the what or the why. Question number 5, halfway through this video. Do tasks such as reading, writing, spelling, math, projects, or tests take more time than others? Now, it has been proven that people who have learning disabilities do take more time than neurotypicals, so people who do not have a neurodiverse condition or disability. And that just means that these people have more time that they need to process everything and figure out what exactly to do. And so because of that, it takes much more time to complete that certain task than their peers. And it also might contribute to something called time management, which is just people not really knowing how to obviously manage their time, like it says in that 2 words, time management. So let's go to question number 6, and this is, do you feel like you struggle with multiple step tasks? Oh my goodness, this is something I totally struggle with, and I'm sure the learning disability community struggles with this as well, so definitely keep this on your radar. People who have learning disabilities don't really remember how to get from step A to step B to step C, and even if they do it once correctly one day, can they actually do it correctly the next day and the next day and the next day? that's what's really challenging, is it can be really spread out with if you really have nailed that task, or sometimes you just have a good day and then the rest are kind of off days. So people who have learning disabilities might experience troubles with word problems or multiple step tasks like writing an essay, math equations, long division, things like that would tie into this question. Question number 7. Do you personally experience some of these general things that a lot of people with learning disabilities have hardships with? This could be directionality, vocabulary, speech sounds, comprehension, spatial awareness. I'll put that definition on the screen for you if you do not know what that is. Staying on task, so like concentration, visualization, verbally expressing your feelings or thoughts, both written and verbally. Question number 8. Do you ask a lot of clarifying questions, or do you want to ask a lot of clarifying questions? There is a spectrum of people ranging from people who definitely have a hardship and they call them out. They're like, I don't really understand what's going on right now. Can you please explain it to me in simpler terms? Then there's the other person who is definitely me and still sometimes is myself, where you are very lost, but you don't want to appear embarrassed in front of your classmates or coworkers, and so you have all these questions racing through your brain, but you keep them to yourself. That is something a lot of people who have learning disabilities definitely do. We're at question number 9, which is, do you have trouble with decision making, concentration, organizing your thoughts and belongings, or time management? These all fall under something called executive dysfunction, and that is pretty common with people who have ADHD, so that's something to keep on your radar as well. Question number 10 is, do you personally avoid tasks that have to do with your struggle area, like reading, writing, math, or socializing? It's super common for people who have learning disabilities to put the blinders on and pretend like they do not exist, when in reality, of course they do. It can just cause people to have really anxious feelings or really overwhelmed in those specific areas, so they want to avoid it at all costs. Well, everyone, that concludes today's video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope it was beneficial to either maybe possibly confirming your theory if you think you have a learning disability. Definitely 100% go do your own research. I personally used a website called understood.org, not sponsored in any way, shape, or form. That helped me out. It is geared, I think, a little bit towards the younger audience rather than adults. So you might want to just Google search signs and symptoms of, insert your learning disability that you're curious about, be ADHD, dysgraphia, dyscalculia, dyslexia, things like that. So definitely I wish you all the best if you do happen to get an evaluation done. It really was incredible for me because it got me to understand why I struggle with certain areas in my life. Bye everyone. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you on the next video.